This is my first video. I'm not sure if I'll ever make another video again, but right now I just wanted to get my thoughts out about the entire Shane Dawson situation, but specifically I wanted to speak about his fans. Just to say up front, I understand that most of his fans are young teenagers, if not even younger, or young adults. I am sympathetic to that, and I hope that maybe after watching this video, some of them will give their position some more critical thought. So I'm going to be going over some posts I have found in a Shane Dawson Facebook fan group. And the first one says, just because everyone else is doing something and it's a trend doesn't mean you have to do it. You should have your own opinions. It's you life. You don't have to copy what everyone else think. People watch Family Guy, American Dad, The Simpsons, and South Park, and they make like the same joke and if not worse, the Shane. So stop being a follower and be yourself. It is better to be yourself than everyone else. Just look at him. And then it has pictures, what I assume they think are adorable pictures of Shane Dawson. So about this ideology, this idea specifically of, well, look at all these other shows, look at these shows that make these types of, problematic jokes. First off, I don't like any of these shows. I think probably a lot of people calling out Shane Dawson probably don't like these shows and find, some of the content offensive. However, if we're talking about just for example, Family Guy, Peter Griffin, he makes, some stupid racist remarks. However, Peter Griffin is obviously portrayed as an unempathetic, insensitive asshole slob. Like, he's not presented as this smart, awesome, great guy that you should aspire to be like. He is portrayed as an idiot. So whereas Shane Dawson has put himself, and his fans have put him up on this pedestal of being like the golden child of YouTube who can do no wrong, and he's like a saint, and so it's completely different. And also saying stop being a follower, don't follow a trend, and then being like, well, what Shane did is okay because these other people or shows did it, like that. Those two things don't go together. So yeah, that is my opinion on that. This next one says, this morning when I woke up, I read so many people attacking me because I said Shane isn't a pedo, and I cried. Not for me, but for Shane. I'm over it now, but this is the third time someone has labeled me a pedo supporter and enabler that I even had to make a new account and decided to just not comment on the matter. Sometimes staying quiet is the smart thing to do. It's insane how many people that don't know the history of YouTube are enabling this cancel culture. 2006 is very different from 2020 YouTube. I decided to join this group today because I know I have no one to vent to or talk about this with, so thanks for the ad. Let's stick together and hope for the best. So yeah, my issue with this is basically this whole idea that I've heard over and over again that, back then it was a different time, YouTube was different, you just don't understand. And let me be clear, I am 33 years old. When YouTube was, starting out, I was in my late teens. And so I have been an avid watcher of YouTube on the platform basically since its inception. I was not a Shane fan back then. I knew of him. I watched a few of his videos. I definitely knew about Shanae and saw a few of those skits. I wasn't really aware of the pedophilia or anything, but I did know that there was some racism, and I did not know how frequent it was, but yeah, I definitely knew it existed, but I was not like a hardcore Shane fan back then. But basically, I'm 1 year older than Shane. In our lifetime, blackface has never been okay. It has not been okay in society generally since Jim Crow era, okay? It has never been okay in Shane and I's lifetime. It just hasn't. I'm sorry. Neither has white people saying the N-word or making racist jokes. That has never been a socially acceptable thing to do in Shane and I's lifetime. Now, I'm not saying that, parts of people on YouTube weren't, edgier back in the beginning. There wasn't more of this type of behavior. There definitely was, but that doesn't make it okay. That it was never okay. And everybody who was doing those things back then, if they still have careers today, if they have not already taken accountability, then they need to. But right now we're talking about Shane Dawson, because Shane Dawson is huge in terms of like viewers and the influence he has. So Shane Dawson is the focus right now. I don't care about what everybody else was doing back then. Shane Dawson was not ignorant to the fact that it wasn't okay. Everybody knows blackface isn't okay. He knew it back then. Even if you wanted to claim that maybe he didn't know when he started out, he had thousands of viewers telling him that his racist jokes and his blackface wasn't okay. And not only that, he also had prominent Black YouTube creators and activists such as Francesca Ramsey and Kat Black calling him out, and he completely disrespected them, disregarded them, and blew them off. Okay. I saw the interactions, especially with Kat Black. If you Google Shane Dawson, Kat Black, there's articles detailing the interactions they had back in the day when Kat Black was calling him out for this fucked up shit, and the tweets and stuff of him just completely, blowing her off and disregarding her. So to say that it was a different time, that's bullshit. It's never been okay. It wasn't okay then. It's not okay now. As far as being a pedo supporter, do I think like people should be bullying his fans and stuff? No, I do think it's people should be engaging with them and trying to have like critical discussions with them and trying to get them to see things for what they are. But no, people shouldn't be like bullying his fans. Do I think that Shane Dawson is a pedophile? I don't know. I have no idea. But I definitely wouldn't be supporting him right now, regardless. But, that's neither here nor there. So, yeah, don't bully, the fans. Most of them are very young, as these posts show. But definitely they do need to stop being so blind to, the fucked up things that Shane has done and stop making excuses for this fucked up behavior. Okay, this next one is an article about YouTube demonetizing Shane Dawson's YouTube channels, and the accompanying caption says, Shane has been dropped from Morphe and now this too. I don't care if you support him or not in this group since it's for him. I do, because everyone makes mistakes and everyone didn't mind laughing at his jokes and buying his merch till now. Knowing Shane has bad depression and such, people decide to drag him now. Well, the day he hurts himself and if worse, commits suicide, don't come up saying you're a Shane fan anymore. Coming from somebody who fights depression. Okay, so this is another take I've seen a lot about, okay, first off, that everyone makes mistakes. I'm sorry, in my 33 years of life, I can honestly say I have never, ever done blackface. I have never, ever said the N-word. And, yes, I did, grow up with a black stepdad in my life since I was 2 years old, who raised me as, as dad. He was the only dad I had. So, and my parents were progressive. So, yes, I'm sure, I have that advantage when it comes to, racial, like, awareness of racial issues and things like that. However, it's still, like, Shane did not grow up in a bubble. Shane knew better. I've never, sexualized children in jokes or directly, involving them in any kind of, yeah. So, no. Yeah, everybody makes mistakes, but not mistakes like this. These aren't even mistakes. These are purposeful actions, deliberate things he did over a long period of time, despite being called out and asked to stop. So the mistakes thing, that doesn't really work here. The other thing, I understand Shane has, depression and anxiety. He's been open about that, and that's well and good. But mental illness and mental health problems are not, excuses or get out of jail free card. They're not a way to skirt responsibility for your actions. Just because somebody has depression and anxiety doesn't mean that we just let them do whatever crazy shit they want. Plenty of people in prison, for most people in prison, in fact, for, violent crimes and things like that, have, mental health issues. Some of them really quite severe, but they still have to be punished and have to take responsibility for their actions. So, and saying that if he hurts himself or commits suicide, which, first off, I don't want Shane Dawson to hurt himself or to commit suicide. I don't want anyone to hurt themselves, okay? That's not what I wish upon him or anyone. However, he is an adult. He is a grown-up. And if he were to make that awful decision, that would be his choice alone. That would be his responsibility. That would be something he chose to do. Do I think people should be, commenting, telling him to kill himself, or that he's worthless and doesn't deserve to live on this earth anymore? No, I don't think that's, appropriate. I don't think that helps anything. I think that's wrong. However, people that are, bringing up, points against him, calling him out, and having, discussions about his problematic behavior isn't wrong. It isn't, something they should be made to feel guilty for, whether Shane hurts himself or not, which, again, I hope he doesn't. And this whole attitude I've seen about Shane, definitely since this started, but just overall, is this constant, his fans always like, oh, he's so sensitive, we have to be really gentle with him, he's so sensitive and fragile, you guys don't understand, he's so sensitive. Okay, he is not a child, he's not a teenager, he's not even a young adult, he is a grown man in his 30s, okay? I understand he acts a lot younger on camera, but the reality is, he's only 1 year younger than me, and I have children that are the age range of most of his fans. I have 14-year-old children. I have a daughter that was a fan of his that I bought merch for her last birthday from him. So he is old enough to have children the age of his fans. And I think because of the way he acts a lot younger on camera. His character or whatever of Shane Dawson, the YouTuber, does come off a lot younger. A lot of these younger fans don't really have perspective. I mean, this guy is as old as some of their parents, and they wouldn't, talk about their parents in this infantilizing way. So yeah, he's not a kid. He's a grown man, and he's, not a little China doll. He has been on YouTube for a very long time. He's got to have thick skin by now. I think he is, I'm not saying he doesn't have mental health problems. I believe that he does. Many people in modern society do. However, I do think he's very manipulative. And I have seen this especially when he's coming on his Instagram stories, and Peter Mon pointed this out, and ever since he pointed it out, I can't get it out of my head, and it makes me sick. But especially when he's wanting to sell merch, and I think he's not wanting to come off as money hungry, he will put on this act and this weird inflection and tone of voice that is very gross and manipulative to me, to where he's like, hey guys, it's Shane, and I'm so nervous to talk about this, but I restocked my merch today, and I'm so excited about it, but you don't have to buy it. I'm so excited about it. It's awesome. Here's the link, go buy it, but you don't have to, and I'm really nervous, and I just don't know. I just don't know what to do or say about that is so manipulative to me. And it is fed into this, perception a lot of his younger fans have of him being this little, this little sensitive little boy who needs to be coddled. No, he's an adult. He has bills. He has a home. He has, a fiance. He has, people that he is, supporting, employees and stuff who depend on him to feed their families. I mean, this is a grown man. He's not a little kid. He's not a child. And I'm sick of the way his fans talk about him, like he's untouchable and nobody can say anything about him because, he's sensitive and has, mental health problems. That's bullshit. It's an easy out, and it's just not going to fly. Personally, I think it's ridiculous. Okay, and the last screenshot I wanted to show was just a fan posting that they purchased the Conspiracy palette, the Mini Controversy palette, and the Diet Shane lip balm. They purchased this today, I'm assuming, and posted a screenshot. They purchased it from JeffreeStarCosmetics.com. Personally, I think it's disgusting that any merch or cosmetics is still being sold right now by Shane Dawson or even Jeffree Star. Even I understand Shane Dawson's cosmetics have been pulled from Morphe, but even if they weren't pulled from anywhere, like, I feel like Shane should have, like, willingly pulled them. I just think it's really gross that he's still, selling shit right now. And obviously there are fans that are buying it. I mean, this fan spent $121 today on Shane Dawson cosmetics. So yeah, I just find that really, like, gross, and I was surprised, honestly, because I thought any PR team in the world would be like, we need to put this shit on a hiatus for right now because it doesn't look good to be selling shit in the midst of all this crap going on. But whatever. What's interesting is this fan bought these cosmetics from JeffreeStarCosmetics.com. Shane's cosmetics were pulled down from Morphe, but Jeffree Star's were not. However, I saw a screenshot earlier where from Shane Dawson's merch website that showed that any reference to Jeffree Star, any of the promotional images that used to be there with Jeffree Star have all been removed. And I find that interesting. I think that Jeffree Star is about to jump ship on Shane Dawson. I think he's about to pull the I don't know her. I was never friends with him card like he always does. Basically, with Jeffree Star, it seems like anytime, as soon as you're not, useful to him or you're an inconvenience to him, you're not friends anymore, and he totally turns on you. And Shane Dawson is really, I'm sure, putting a lot of heat on Jeffree right now, just with his allegations and all of the controversy surrounding him right now. So I think Jeffree Star is about to, abandon ship and be like, I wouldn't be surprised if Jeffree Star came out tomorrow with a video like showing all these screenshots and evidence of Shane, saying the N-word and making pedo jokes. I don't even know. Who knows what kind of blackmail that dude has. But yeah, I would not be surprised to see Jeffree Star come out against Shane Dawson hard. Because Jeffree Star, say what you want about Shane Dawson, but I do believe, he does really care for the people in his life. Like, I do feel like it seems he gets really, really attached to his friends. And, well, I'm not really sure what happened with, like, Drew and Garrett. It seems weird that they're just not around anymore. But anyway, I could be wrong. There's definitely evidence to suggest with his old friends that maybe, Shane Dawson isn't a great friend. However, more so than Jeffree Star, it seems like Shane Dawson really does care about his friends, and he really does genuinely care about Jeffree. I mean, he defended Jeffree in that statement that he put out last week, that terrible 5-page, screed against the beauty community. He did, say that Jeffree Star was problematic and fucked up, but he was his family, and he was gonna, be there for him no matter what. And Jeffree Star, through this whole thing, has been completely silent. He hasn't come out in support of Shane since all of this old content of Shane started resurfacing and stuff. He hasn't come out at all. I've seen other friends of Shane's that, seem to be like way less close friends, like that Brittany that he did the part in his conspiracy theory video about her, her ex-husband being a total con man and all that Brittany, she came out and put out a tweet basically saying, Shane is a really kind person, and she gave this example of Shane, like, buying an iPad for an Apple Store employee, and basically said, Shane has said and done some really fucked up things that I don't agree with and I don't support, but he's my best friend. He's one of my best friends and I love him no matter what. He's a great person. Trish has said the same kind of stuff, so friends have come out in support of Shane, but saying, I don't agree with what he said, but this is my friend, and I get that. I've had fucked up friends before that I didn't agree with, that said, fucked up things that I didn't agree with, but at the end of the day, they were still my friends. I'm not friends with those people anymore, because in the end, people like that always end up showing their true colors. If they're making racist jokes or racist remarks, most likely they're just a shitty person in general. It just hasn't been directed at you yet. So, but anyway, Jeffree Star has been completely silent this whole time, and I think that says a lot, and I'm telling you, the dude is self-serving. Jeffree Star seems to be extremely self-serving, and doesn't seem to have genuine attachments to anybody. Just whoever is the people he keeps close, or are the people who are most useful to him at that period of time. So yeah, I just find it interesting that Jeffree has been removed from Shane's merch site and what that's all about, and how this is going to go down. One of them is going to have to turn on the other, either in order to try to get some of the heat off of himself and look better. I could see Shane maybe coming out with a video saying, all right, guys, here's the truth about Jeffree Star. He says this and he's done that, and basically exposing Jeffree Star. Or which I think is most likely, is Jeffree Star coming out against Shane Dawson. Basically, jumping ship. Because this just isn't a good look, and I don't think friendship means anything to Jeffree Star. That's just my opinion. So yeah, anyway, I think the fact that they're still selling Shane Dawson merchandise anywhere is crazy. I think Shane Dawson's, willingly should have taken his cosmetics down from everywhere, for the time being at least. And I guess that's about all I wanted to say. I do want to reiterate, I know most of these fans are very, very young, and I don't really judge them. I have sympathy for them. I remember being that young and just being obsessed with, a band or something like that, and but the blindly, following and hero worship of these influencers is concerning to me. I just hope that if any of these fans come across this video, maybe they will give this some more critical thought. You shouldn't just blindly follow anybody. I think a lot of these young fans would probably, most Gen Z kids, mostly be anti-Trump. But their behavior with Shane reminds me a lot of Trump voters, the Trump's base, who basically, no matter what the crazy shit the guy says or does, they stand by him. They excuse it away. Trump said himself, I could go stand in the middle of Fifth Avenue and kill a guy, and my people would still love me. And even though I think a lot of Shane's fans are anti-Trump and probably look at Trump voters who act that way like they're insane, they're acting the exact same way with Shane. So hopefully this will just give them something, to think about. If anybody even comes across this, like I said, this is my first video. Probably nobody will ever see this, and that's fine. I'll probably never make another one. I just really wanted to talk about this because as a parent, as a former Shane fan, I was a Shane fan myself. I have, one of the pig hoodies, and like I said, my daughter's a fan. And so as a former fan and as a parent, and not to be really boomerish, I am a young parent. I'm only 1 year older than Shane. This kind of hero worship of Shane Dawson and how manipulative he is really concerning to me. I think he uses his mental health in such a way to manipulate. And that's one more thing I wanted to point out, is that yesterday when Tati put out her video and Shane was doing that cringy live stream reacting to it, when Tati brought up that she had, trauma in her past had been abused or assaulted in her past, Shane Dawson, like, rolled his eyes. He started to say shut up, but stopped himself. He said shut, oh, shut, and then, like, stopped himself. But he scoffed at her, rolled his eyes. He was very dismissive of it, and then said that she was very manipulative for mentioning that she had a past experience of abuse or trauma. And I found that really ironic because Shane had just used his own past abuse and trauma in his quote-unquote apology video that he put out a few days before. He had just done the exact same thing, so how is it it's okay when he does it, but if Tati does it, you know, she's manipulative? And I just thought his dismissal of her speaking on that, and kind of we got a glimpse of like the true Shane Dawson. And I think that's the other thing is that these young fans don't understand is that the Shane Dawson they're seeing in these videos is a very carefully constructed, curated character, okay? It's not how he really is in his day-to-day life. Almost every YouTuber I watch, doesn't mean that they're bad people off camera, but almost every YouTuber I watch has said that they have like a YouTube persona, that it's a character, and in their day-to-day life they're completely different. And that's certainly the case with Shane Dawson. And I think we got a real glimpse of the real Shane Dawson on that live stream he should have never done, live reacting to Tati's video, and also in that really angry, nasty 5-page statement about the beauty community that he eventually took down. I think those were 2 times where like the mask slipped and we got to see, you know, a little piece of who Shane Dawson may really be. This is all really concerning and fucked up, and I could talk all day about this, but I'm gonna go now. I appreciate anybody who stumbled upon this for listening, and I'm interested to see where this goes. If you have any, you know, thoughts or a different perspective, I'd love to hear it in the comment section below. You can like and subscribe, that'd be great. I don't know if I'll ever make another video, but anyway, yeah, thanks again. Bye.